So I'm going to start off like I usually do with my 11-inch balloons. I'm going to blow up 2 at a time, round them out, and tie them together into dupes. I'm also going to be making some dupes that have 18-inch balloons and 11-inch balloons tied together, and that's going to be for my filler. For those of you who are curious, I underinflate my balloons by about 1 inch. So I'm going to take 3 dupes and I'm going to twist them together into clusters, and they're just the 11-inch dupes for now. And I'm making my balloon garland base. Make sure you double twist your dupes into your clusters. Then I'm going to take my 260 balloons. These are Sempertex brand, so it says 260S. I've been saying the whole time that they're 260Q, and that's for Qualitex brand balloons. So for Sempertex, it's 260S. So sorry for the confusion, you guys. So I'm going to tie the ends of my 260 balloon together, and I'm going to make like a rubber band like I normally do. And so this is the first method that I'm using to attach my balloon clusters. I'm just going to wrap it around a couple balloons in one balloon cluster. Then I'm going to get another cluster and wrap that 260 around at least 2 to 3 balloons in that cluster to make sure it's nice and tight. And this is my first method of making my balloon garland base. Now I've been using that for the past year, but I also used to do the necktie method, and I want to show you guys how to do that. So just take one neck from one balloon in one cluster and a neck from another balloon in another cluster and just tie them together. So I'm going to show you the best way I can on here, how I'm tying them together. I can tie the balloons together a lot quicker than this, but because I have to position it a certain way for you guys to see it, it's a little bit more difficult for me to do it. Now this does take a little bit more work, but in my opinion, I think it makes the balloon garland more tighter. It's a tighter fit. So look at the difference. On the left side, you have the side with the 260. And then the right side, you have it just tied together at the necks, and it's a lot more tighter. However, I wanted to show you both methods so that you have options. So I decided to use the necktie method this time to make my balloon garland base. Okay, so this is the stand that I just purchased. If you've seen any of my videos before, you have seen this stand before, but I purchased this off of eFavorMart. It is a square backdrop stand, metal frame. It adjusts to 10 feet high and 10 feet wide. So I'm going to go ahead on and open it up for you and show you how it looks. So this base is supposed to be 12.55 kilograms or about 27 pounds. So it has a good weight to it. This is why it's good for indoor and outdoor use, in that you can use this outdoors with weights. So to adjust the height, you just twist the knobs on those poles and pull them out. And you can adjust this up to 10 feet. So I'm going to put the bottom of that pole into the hole inside of the base and then use that knob to tighten it. You want to make sure it's really tight so that it doesn't come out of that base. You can test it out like I'm doing right now. So when I get both poles up, I'm going to bring them down. And then I'm going to use the top pole. And there's a little knob right there, and you're going to put it through that hole and then push it down and then pull it out, and that extends to about 10 feet as well. So I have about 3 of these stands, and the reason why I keep buying them is because, number one, the price point is really good for the quality. Again, I can use these both indoor and outdoor. These are under $200, and usually a good metal stand will cost you over $200. Plus, this stand is really versatile. I can use these for drapes, for boxwood backdrop, which is that green bush backdrop, for my shimmer walls, for vinyl backdrops. I like to use the side poles for balloon columns sometimes. And there's a top part on each side pole that you can pop off at the very top. And sometimes I will stick my gray electrical PVC pipe in there and make an outdoor arch, and it actually works. So I like getting these for the versatility and price. So this is not the normal backdrop stand that I use for clients. The one that I use is sturdier than this, and I got that one from eFavorMart as well. So I'll leave the link to those stands in the description box below my video. So now I have my balloon garland base, which is made up of 9 clusters or 36 balloons. And I'm just going to slide it onto the stand. I'm not going to use any 260s or anything. I'm just sliding the balloons onto the stand. So now I'm in the back of the balloon garland, and I'm just going up the garland and twisting balloons around the stand. So I just take 2 balloons and twist them around each other so that I can lock my balloon garland onto the stand and it's nice and secure. So now I took another 260, tied the ends together to make a rubber band, and that's a cluster of 12 balloons right there. And I'm just going to attach that to a couple balloons in the pre-existing balloon garland and really beef up that bottom so that it's nice and full and it stretches out. And so now it's time to add my filler with the 18-inch balloons and the 11-inch balloons. So you have a couple ways to do this. You can twist the dupes into the balloon. So just find the balloon in the garland and just twist the dupe around that. Or you can take a neck from one of the balloons in the dupe and find the neck from another balloon in the balloon garland and just tie that into the balloon garland. Or you can use the 260. Just tie it around the dupe or cluster, however many balloons you're adding. Find the balloon and wrap it around a couple balloons in the pre-existing balloon garland, and then tie the 260 into itself. And that's a third way that you can add on your fillers or clusters. Now I decided to add my fillers by twisting the dupes into the balloon garland. Now I will admit that with the necktie method and this dupe twisting method, the balloon garland is tighter. As mentioned before, it's a tighter fit because you are attaching the balloons directly to themselves. You're not using another, item to attach the balloons. However, if you cannot do this, 260Q is still a great method to get a pretty tight fit. Okay, but I've just been trying the necktie method because I've noticed with the 260, sometimes my sections will shift and I don't like that. So that's what I'm doing. And also I'm trying to save on material. Now I decided to switch around some of those 18-inch balloons on the side. I don't like them all sticking out on the side like that. So I started switching the positions to go further inside of the garland. So it looks like it's more nestled into the garland rather than just poking and sticking out of it. Now it's time to add my 5-inch decorators. I'm just using a hand pump. And I'm doing about 2 pumps per balloon, rounding them out, tying them together into dupes, and twisting them into clusters of 4. Now I will be using my 260 balloons. I'm going to cut them in half to save on material. Tie one end around the 5-inch cluster, and then use the other end to wrap around a balloon in the balloon garland, and then I'll tie the 260 into itself. And that's how I add on my clusters. Now you can directly tie those 5-inch decorators into the balloon garland as well, but I choose not to do that. That's a lot more work than I care to do. So for those of you who want to know, I used about 130 balloons, roughly about 12 18-inch balloons and 36 5-inch balloons. So here's the finished product to this balloon garland on a round backdrop. Now, as I mentioned before, I did prefer using the necktie method because it made the balloon garland tighter in my opinion, and there was a lot less shifting than when I used the 260Q method. However, I believe that both methods, if done right, will make a solid balloon garland, especially for those who have trouble tying the necks of the balloons together. So if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, go ahead on and like it, and please subscribe, and you'll get notifications on future videos on balloon and event decor. And until next time, I will see you guys later.